What's going on, everybody? This is Mindset U. I'm Jason Moreno. Next to me, we got Moody Mo. And over there, we got Robo Rances. You might be wondering, why does Mo look so much more handsome today? And it's because he's not here. But I will say this. Once you listen to this episode, I think he had some of the most valuable things to say out of all of us. And I personally think this was his best episode.
I agree.
Yeah, you see? Today's episode is all about parenthood and why people choose to be a parent and why I chose to not at this current juncture in time. Also, my pull-out game is fucking immaculate. So, yeah, that's it. Sit back and enjoy and listen to us talk about parenting.
So, Jay, you mentioned a few podcasts that you don't want kids.
Yeah, fuck them kids.
I have kids, obviously.
Yeah, I know.
Is that why you don't want kids?
No, it's not your kids specifically is the reason why I don't want kids.
So why don't you want kids? You're about to get married. You have a great relationship. Why don't you want kids?
It's a good question. I think it really just comes down to the fact that it's the lifestyle change that comes with it. Ash and I just both don't have it in us right now. And that's not to say that later on I think it's more so of the fact that like Ash is 36, I'm 35, I'll be 36 soon. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just, we're getting to that point where it's a little bit harder to have kids and stuff like that. And I also think, the fact that she's worked in labor and delivery for so long before she came to Jersey that I think she's seen enough of like what the process of having a child is like that she's like, no thanks, I'm good. And I totally get that, especially when you have to watch people get C-sections or you watch the complications that come from it and stuff like that. And then you look like all the statistics from like what it's like for a black woman to give birth in this country. Like their mortality rate is really fucking low. So I think a lot of that plays into it.
You mean?
Oh, high. Excuse me.
Yeah.
The mortality rate is really high. And I think, we've had the discussion, like, if we were to ever decide, like, to have kids, that we're super okay with adopting.
Okay.
Kind of thing. So the kids aren't necessarily off the table. Mm-hmm. It's just in the traditional sense of, like, Ash is going to get pregnant and we're going to have a kid. That's not in the cards for us, really.
Okay.
Kind of thing. But it also just comes down to it. Kids is such a big commitment. Mm-hmm. And it's, people say, 18 years. It's not 18 years. It's for the rest of their life, your life kind of thing, And the lifestyle that comes with being a parent, I aren't interested in. And I appreciate everybody who makes it work. And, I look up to you and Paola because you guys remind me so much of my parents when it comes to like raising kids and stuff like that, that I respect it. And I completely understand why people would want to have kids and stuff like that. But it's also the same thing, when somebody's like, I don't want to get into a fight. Like, and I'm like, why would you want to get into a fight? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I get it. But at the same time, I'm like, no, thanks. I'm good. For example, going on vacation with your kids. Are you on vacation or are you just traveling to another place and watching your kids?
So for me, is like, I'm on vacation. I don't have a bad like connotation. Like I love spending time with my kids.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, my current schedule is set up where I spend the entire day with my kids,
and that's awesome.
So like they come to camp with me. I right now managing a basketball camp for Mindset, and I got my kids in there. They're in there basically with me the entire day. We come home, they're with me. So like. And I'm not like, I need to get away from these kids. So I don't see it like that.
Yeah.
But it's also like, okay, my kids are 8 and 11. Mm-hmm. And I have spent a lot of time with them.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is that I've spent a lot of time with them, teaching them a lot of things where I see them and I speak to them like people.
Yeah.
I speak to them like adults. Like
Yeah.
I don't make things like all cutesy and stuff for my kids. I never have.
That's why I always appreciate you guys, and that's why you guys remind me so much of my parents. Where it's like they always talk to me like I was a grown up.
Yeah.
Especially being an only child, it's that joke. It's just like you're just another person living with you. Have two roommates, kind of thing. You know. So I completely get that. I think that's why I respect it so much, and I do get that, and it's also coming from an aspect of like I don't have that. I don't know what that love is like. The same way like you're allergic to animals, right? You're allergic to dogs and cats, essentially, right? It's like you don't get why. I guess you would understand why people have pets and stuff like that. But like like when people have like that like crazy attachment to like animals, do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you know what that
I
love
wanted
is?
to be a veterinarian.
Really?
Yes. I love animals. I used to study animals as a kid.
No shit. I
Yes.
never knew that. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
interesting. Yeah, I never wanted to be a pediatrician. So,
I actually, when I was like 16, went to apply for a job at a pet hospital.
really?
And I couldn't make it through the interview. I was literally dying, tight with asthma. My nose was running. I was like, I guess I have to make a different decision with what I want to do in my life.
Oh man, I never knew that. That's so interesting. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
fair enough. So you do get it. All right.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But you talk about the age factor, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing because for me and Paola, we had our kids, like our first Logan at 26 years old. And there was number one for me, I had for some reason decided that I wanted to have my first kid 25 to 27 years old. Not because that was the plan or anything. I just said that's the age when you're supposed to have kids for whatever reason in my life.
No, that makes sense. I think that's also a good age to have kids as well because, like, my parents were 27 when they had me, and now it's nice that I get to enjoy my parents and they're in their early 60s kind of thing,
And I think that was a big factor,
Yeah.
right? Because it's like just thinking about like growing up and then like you're still raising kids when you're like raising teenagers or something when you're like 60. I think that's rough. You're going to be tired.
Yeah.
On one aspect of it. So like for us, it was intentional, but there was a big time, like a long passage of time where we were like, do we want kids? We were in that side of it of like, because there's a lot of challenges that come with it. Are we ready for it? Right? That was a big conversation. Are we ready for it? Like financially, in terms of where we are, the things we want to accomplish, are we ready for it? There was the other aspect of like, do we want to bring in kids to this world? And the challenges that we see in our own lives, we're going to just bring someone else to suffer. Like that idea was strong and heavy for us.
Yeah, I get that.
And I think for me, that idea shifted with like, along with my coaching of like, I'm able to influence people. So like me bringing in kids to the world, and that goes into an approach of like, I talk to my kids as adults because I want to equip them with the problem-solving skills on how to make the world a better place. And that was like, from the get-go, it's like, oh, no, I'm bringing the kids to the world not to suffer, but to make the world better. That sounds encouraging. That shifted the perspective for me.
It's a nice spin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a perspective spin. That's all it is,
No,
really.
of course.
But it also guides the little decisions that you make.
Yeah.
And then the ready thing, that was funny because Paola and I spent a week taking care of a friend of ours' kids who one was 13 and the other was like 8. Okay, so we spent this whole week taking care of these kids.
Interesting ages.
Yeah, it was. It was a challenge that week. And like at middle of the week, we were like, we don't want kids. Fuck this. And then at kind of towards the end of the week is like, oh, this like kind of job well done type of thing.
Yeah.
But we were like, we don't know if we're ready, like all this stuff. And the parents came home and we stayed there talking to the parents that were friends of ours. And, they were like, when you guys are having kids? And we're like, yeah, I don't know. We don't know if we're ready. And the husband asked the question of like, when are you ever ready for anything?
Yeah.
And that lingering question, just like we looked at each other like, oh man, it's just a decision. Like we just decide. And that just shifted us because we just kept like going back to that question: when are we ever ready?
Yeah.
What would be the marker that we're ready? And we're like, in the long run, we do want kids, so let's go for it.
Yeah.
And literally, we tried, and Logan
Yeah.
came here. And we're like, oh,
Right.
this was really quick. We thought we were gonna have more time to prep.
No, I get that. I get that a lot. And it's funny because, like, I'm really good with kids. It's funny. Like, I can just... kids are fun for me. But Ash is very awkward around kids. She
Yeah.
doesn't know how to talk to them. From the exterior, you would think, oh, she would be so good with kids. And then you see me, and it's like I'm literally wearing a shirt that says... drugs, not hugs, don't touch me. But I'm the one who's actually like really good with kids, and it's always just I always tease her about it so much because like whenever I have like a nephew around or something like that, she's like, "Hi, little person, how are you?" I'm like, yeah, "Talk to them. What's wrong with you?" kind of thing. So
I can vouch for that because I've seen you with my son. Like,
Yeah.
you're. I'm like, yo, this guy has a special skill. Like,
Yeah, no, it's one of those things. So like whenever I tell people that like I don't want kids, they're usually really surprised because when they see me around their kids, kind of thing. But it's also at the same time, it's your kid. I get to give them back to you. I get to go, oh my God, we had so much fun for this hour. Go back to your parents now. I've had enough, kind of thing. So-
there's an aspect about that, like the difficulties of parenthood, and we've talked about this in previous podcasts where I like challenges. It's something that it allures me. Is like my mind says like when I see something challenging. But one challenge that I was not anticipating as an adult as a parent is that my kids have brought up things that I thought I was over, that I, adjusted within myself, and then my kids smack me in the face with it.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is like a lot of things that I struggled with as a kid, and I was like, oh, I came up with protocols and ways to deal with this thing. And then my kids show up and has these same kind of things. So now I have to deal with this again. And I'm like, oh, I'm over it, whatever. No, when you see it in front of you, that's super frustrating because it's so personal. It's such a personal thing.
Yeah.
And that's honestly like the hardest part.
Yeah.
When it comes to parenting, because it's like, it seems irrational how upset something would make you. Because looking at it from the outside, it's like, whoa, relax. It's just this. But it's all the baggage that comes with that. And then it makes you deal with it all over again from a whole different perspective. And that's hard.
It's super hard. I can only imagine how hard that could be, especially like the amount of like patience and understanding that you have to have for your kids and stuff like that. It's not easy because, I think as a parent, it's like you want to be able to like give your kids the answer, but at the same time, you want them to figure it out on their own. But like where that comes from, I guess, is like you just want them to be okay, kind of thing. And it's hard. I can only imagine how hard it is to like watch your kids struggle with something sometimes when like you see them getting frustrated and stuff like that. He's like, oh, I want to help you so bad, but God damn it, you got to figure it out on your own. Yeah, you got this. Please get this. Like you'll see. You know what I mean? Like.
So like you said about like the patience that is needed. So. Yes, it's true. You need a lot of patience. You don't always have it though. No. And that's the thing. Yeah. It's not all perfect parenting at all times. And I think that's important though. Like a lot of people try to shove that down and try to like, it's like, oh, guests are coming over. You better be on your best behavior type of thing. It's like, no, can we just be real? Like this is like I yell at my kids a lot. Yeah. And it's not yelling like, like my parents used to yell at me, like just like no, just like putting rules in because I'm your parent. Yeah. With me, my yelling of my kids is like when it hits those moments. Like for example, like I was a big daydreamer as a kid, right? For example, I'll give you this example. I went to school in New York City. I can tell you for each grade what the trees outside my window look like in detail. What we learned in class, I have no clue. Because I'll just be staring out the window, just daydreaming, right? So it's like, that was very hard for me to like be able to adapt. I remember my dad being frustrated with me. He's like, wake up, focus, you got to do this, right? All of that yelling. For me, I learned how to manipulate that, get whatever. And then my son shows up. He's like, daydreaming in the middle of a conversation you're having with him or whatever he's doing.
Yep.
So that's super frustrating. So then you get this response in that moment of like, no, we fixed this already. Stop this. What are you doing? Stop. And you hear yourself sounding like your own parent.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, damn it.
Yeah.
This didn't help me. Let me teach him like what actually helped me.
Yeah.
And then that's where you learn the patience. You learn to like
Totally
realize, oh, this is me.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. I was talking to the kid I helped train at the gym the other day because he's in that weird teen phase and his mom, single mom kind of thing. So like she's the only authority figure, and he's having like they're having that butting the heads kind of thing. And she asked me if I can talk to him. So I just started asking like little questions and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, like, what's how's home? How's things with your mom and stuff like that. And he's always like, good. I'm like, yeah, I hear that, but like, I understand that, parents can be annoying sometimes. I was like, but you gotta realize. And I was like, I know that you feel like she might be picking on you, or that she might be putting all these rules on you and stuff like that, and you're trying to figure out like your own thing. I was like, but you gotta realize, like, this is her first time being your parent too, and the same way that she has to realize that this is your first time being a 16-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody's figuring it out as they go along, and nobody's perfect. So you kind of gotta give each other that slack a little bit, and it kind of helped him like realize it a little bit, because it's just going from conversations that I've been having with my parents as I get older and stuff like that, and stuff that I shared with you guys and stuff, that it's just like, it's crash course learning on hand. There's no book, no matter how many books you read, it doesn't prepare you for what it's like to stare in the mirror and see a copy of yourself, but it's not you. You know what I mean? They're essentially an evolved version of you. So it's like you will have all these fears from like your own personal doubts and stuff like that you try not to put on them, but at the same time you have to realize that they're their own person kind of thing. And that's a really hard concept, because like, how do you do it? How do you do it without fucking them up?
Here's one thing that I struggle with, right? So in my household, like, Dominican household, you respect your parents, you don't talk back. Like, there's a lot of aspect of your parents say something, like there's no, it's just yes sir, yes ma'am type of thing, right? That very strict kind of parenting. And I've raised my kids to have a voice, right? Because for me, I apply that. For me, I had to learn how to have a voice, instead of just like going with whatever the authority says. Is like, I want to be able to challenge the world, so I have to be able to develop a voice. So now with my kids, it's like the same thing. Our mission statement for them is for Logan and Emma to be contributing adults that challenge the world for the better. That's our mission statement to it. And with that comes like, okay, so they have to be able to challenge us.
What a double-edged sword that is. Yeah.
Because now we're not talking about disrespect. We're not talking about them like, just doing,
questioning things.
But it's questioning.
Yeah.
And it's like in my house, my mom did a little bit.
Yeah.
Right, where she always encouraged me to ask why, but when I would ask her why, she would sometimes get frustrated, or she'll give me you won't understand. You'll understand when you're older, and then I'll keep trying to push her, and she'll give me some sort of answer, but like it wasn't fully. Now with my kids, it's like, I want you to understand, to explore. So you have to kind of put that like authority a little bit back to give them the space to do that. So it's great. I see them, doing it. And then you need them to do something, and you need them to execute. And they're like, wait, I need to understand what's the thought process here. It's like, no.
The thought process is, you get this shit done right now because I asked you to. That's it.
So it's like that, like you said, double-edged sword of like, you're preparing them to be adults. These skills are going to serve them as adults. But right now, I need you to be like, just follow, bro. But then that also brings up the other things. Like, there's times where you have to just execute. We can discuss it later. And that has been coming up a lot more with them. But yeah, it is like you said, like looking in the mirror with not quite you, but a lot of you, And
sometimes all the good qualities and sometimes a lot of the bad qualities too sometimes. And it's always interesting like trying to like navigate that stuff. That's what I always admire about parents in that thing, because the older I get, it's like nobody's perfect and nobody has the answers, because what works for your kids probably wouldn't work for another group of kids, kind of thing.
But the idea that I always think about is like, it's not like special tricks or whatever that work for you, whatever. It's all about that whole empowerment thing. So I also coach a lot of parents that are having challenges with kids. And by the way, similar to your story, is most of these situations arise with the parent reaching out to me, asking me, hey, I need you to coach my kid. And then I go, okay, let's do a consultation, you and I. We'll discuss your child, and then we'll move on, see which direction is best. They're like, what are you talking about? It's like, yeah, let me find out more.
I'm perfect. It's the kid that's fucked up.
Yes. And again, it's a mirror of you,
Yeah.
right? So what we end up finding is like, hey, listen, there's a lot in your approach, right? So it's like, it's a leadership concept. As a parent, you're the leader. And if you're not a leader that someone can follow, i.e. your child can follow, if they have to, try to fight for themselves, they see you as an antagonist as opposed to being on their team. Like, those are all things that you can contribute to. Not someone else is not going to be able to step in, speak to the child, and then they're going to be perfect based off of what you believe is perfect.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. So I end up coaching parents on them, because it's all about, again, you're seeing these things about yourself come up here, and that's super frustrating. Either a mirror image of it or an antagonistic version of it. And then that's what the struggle that you're having, because things aren't coming out how you want them to come out. So with coaching parents is about like, hey, discovering how you approach the situation, your expectations, your anticipated reactions, all of those things. And then all of a sudden, you start working on you as a parent, and your relationship with your child improve drastically.
Yeah. I think another thing for parents too, because I think it's an easier concept for them to grasp than kids, because they're a little bit they're just not there yet, not mentally, because a lot of kids are, but I think when parents realize that like they were once a kid too, and you have to kind of put yourself in that shoe a little bit. I think sometimes parents forget that. Like, I had the conversation with my mom about that before. She's like, I forgot that you were a kid sometimes, and I just want you to I had these expectations for you, and that was it, kind of thing. So she was like, I didn't look at you as a kid sometimes. I looked at you kind of like as an object. Or it's like, no, this is what I expect, kind of thing. She goes, then I forget that you're a fucking kid, and that you're, the same way I daydream too, except that I didn't look out the window. I'd scribble on my desk. I'd draw. I'd doodle on my papers and stuff like that, and I wouldn't listen to shit because I'm just in there. And I used to do my best artwork when I wasn't supposed to, kind of thing, and it would drive my mom crazy and stuff like that. But I'm like, I got it from you. You doodle on all your papers at work. Like, I learned it from you, kind of thing. And all these like other like little things where it's like, I'm a kid. I'm just trying to test the waters. I'm going through emotions the same way that you're going through emotions, except that you might have the better tools to understand where that's coming from. And this is just fucking brand new.
Yeah.
And then the hormones, you know what I mean? Like, I was like trying to explain to the mom. I was like, he's 16. He's going through all these different hormones. He thinks he's a man, and yeah, sure. He has hair on his balls now, but he still has to rely on mom for everything. So they go through this little like machismo thing, and we all did it. We all thought that, I'm a man now and stuff like that. And then mom was like, all right, go make your doctor's appointment. Like, I don't want to do it,
But there's I wanna kind of go into that, defining like when you say is a kid, right?
Yeah.
You're a kid.
Yeah.
It's a child. Because, so I'll give it from this perspective. Right now, like I said, I'm leading this mindset basketball camp, right? I'm managing it. We have a bunch of coaches teaching us the skills and all this stuff, but I'm leading the mindset component.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing for me as a mindset coach that I work with adults.
Yeah.
And with adults is in order to make them understand a concept or get them to see a perspective, or like there's months of work that go into that, right? And with a child, it's like just show it to them once and they're like, oh, okay, cool, I'm running with it.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's instantaneous almost, right? So like, it's a kid. I think that we tend to apply that adult mind to the child of like, oh, no, this is happening because of this and this. It's like, no, it's all raw data, basically, and they're just running with it and applying it however it's showing up.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, because I see this. I see parents react, and in this environment, I see the parents react to the child. It's like, oh, he's trying to do this, and they have all these assumptions about how much this child thought about what they're doing and why, and they know it gets to me, so that's why he's. It's like, no,
No idea.
It's all like, it's all reactionary. It's
Yeah.
all like, and that's the hardest part for parents to understand, that it is a child, and this is what a child means. It's like, there's no this whole. Like a 2-year-old, picked up something and threw it up and then smacked you in the face. You're like, you just hit me. You see this intentionality behind it. It's like, no. There ain't no cause and effect. Literally.
Yeah.
Didn't know that when you throw it up, gravity goes down. They just learned a little bit about it right now.
Yeah. That's so funny. All right, so here's a good question for you. What from your parents did you bring over that you thought was helpful that you learned from your parents into your parenting methods now?
So like I mentioned before about the why, my mom would encourage, because she always encouraged me to ask why. So that's something that I kind of built up even more and brought it to my kids. There's obviously the hard work element. My father is also a business owner, entrepreneur, and from early age, I would go to work with him. I would see his work, his struggle, his everything, and I'll be so excited to go with him. So that was something that I know had positive impact in my life. So from very early age, I've been bringing my kids to work with me, and giving them jobs and assigning them that. So elements like that. And my parents did a great job with like family time, where Sundays, for example, was always like family time. Yeah. My dad would always sneak out and use a bunch of it for work. He's like, yeah, we're going as a family to this restaurant or this movie theater, and I just need to pass by this place to pick up some money. And we'll be in the car. My dad goes, spends like 30 minutes here. Okay, I just need to go to this other place, and we spend like a few hours in the car waiting for him. Yeah. Technically, we're together, so that. But like for me, like that too, like we section off time for family time, and it's like, no, I'm here with you guys. I'm for you guys right now. Yeah. I'm all in. So taking their constant and trying to up them a notch.
I like that. yeah. It's very similar with my parents, except that my dad would take me to the bar with him. So like, yeah, we're gonna go to movies. We're gonna stop at like these street bars along the way. You're gonna come inside though. So I learned I got really good at pool as a kid. I got really good at pool as a child. But it's some of my favorite memories though. It's just like I always love the fact that my parents treated me like a kid, talked to me like an adult, and made me feel like I was accepted with the adults kind of thing. Because then it made me realize, okay, if I mind my P's and Q's, I can hang out with the adults. I can go to the bar with my dad, and as long as I don't sit at the bar, the bartender's like, let Jay stay here. Jay's gonna go do his homework and play pool and drink a Shirley Temple. Go for it, kind of thing. And those are some of my favorite memories because I was like, I get to hang out with my dad.
It taught you the awareness of the nuances.
Yeah, So that's the one thing I always appreciated. And my mom would always take me to work with her, and I was always fortunate that like I had a bunch of uncles and aunts who would always take me under the wing because I was like, I'll bring my bag of toys. You got a TV? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, cool. I'll see you in 3 hours for some McDonald's kind of thing. So like everybody loved watching me because I was super easy. But when you mentioned like going to work, my aunt Sharon would always take me to work with her, and she worked at a television station. And that's how I fell in love with wanting to work in news, except that she worked for the Phil Donahue show. But I was so amazed that everybody had a TV at their desk. I was like, y'all watch TV all day and get to work? And she was like, yeah, pretty much. And I was like, sold. That's what I'm gonna do. that's
I love that. Never heard that story. I
that's
love that.
literally how it was like. Oh, I'm gonna work in news because like everybody has a TV at their desk. That's literally what got that spark in my head.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so what we learned today.
Having kids isn't all that bad. It's just not for me. I think just a lot goes into it, and I think people don't realize the emotional capacity and the amount of understanding and just having to try again and just figure it out. That goes into it, and you're not perfect. Your kid's not perfect. Your kid's not you. You know, although they might have a lot of the qualities that you have, they're their own person, and everybody has to work on themselves a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's the key factor. Is like the mindset of choosing to be a parent or choosing not to be a parent is about awareness, self-awareness, because it is personal work. It is building a understanding of the world, and it's not applying what you think you should have done onto your child.
Yeah. And I just don't want, when I say that, like, we don't want kids, I don't think it's because we think we'd be bad parents. I think we'd be amazing parents. Mostly because, like, we have such a good support system. We always have, like, you guys to look at, to look to, my parents, it's a big community. So, like, that stuff isn't what deters us from it. Because I know a lot of people are like, what, are you scared of being a bad dad? And I'm like, no, I think I'd be amazing. That's not it. It's like, ew. It's just gross.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, fatherhood has been an amazing experience. Not to sound cliche,
No,
but I feel like a lot of it is because it's been very intentional. Like every decision that Paula and I have made as parents have been very intentional, and part of that is about we sat down, created a parenting mission statement and core values. We know what the intention is, so we run basically every thought and decision through that intention. So the results are that we love our kids, we love the people that our kids are becoming, and when we don't, which happens a lot, we're like, okay, what is it about me that gets upset that this isn't going that way? And it helps us grow.
But also at the same time, sometimes they can be assholes.
No, yeah.
The same that sometimes we can be assholes, they can be assholes too.
But that's usually the lesson there, because it's like, oh, so for example, I hear my son responding to his sister in a very like aggressive kind of like well, that's uncalled for. Yeah. And I'm like, have I ever reacted? It's me. Okay, I got it. It's me. Yeah. It's me. So now let me go talk to my son, let him know what the issue is, and also tell him, hey, if you notice me doing that, call me out on it. Yeah. So it's that whole cycle. It's all intertwined into one to me.
Yeah. Real quick, one last thing. Just because the last podcast that we were talking about being present, and when you're talking about a lot of the decisions that you make for your kids and stuff like that, how much of it is based in the present and how much of it is based for the future?
That's a great question, because there's like a joining of the two.
That's what,
right? So it's like right now, like the goal, again, the mission statement is a broad mission. It's not like this, you're going to be a doctor and so on and so forth. It's not like that. But it's like in those moments where it's like, all right, my kid is challenging this decision I'm making. This is that future base. Is like, okay, I want him to be able to challenge me. I want him to be able to have the skills to do that. That's very future based. Yeah. And then there's a present base of like, this is not the way you do it though, And it's like, okay, it's reminding yourself that it's a child and all this stuff. So like, it's like going in the future and present, because the intention needs to have a direction. Yeah. So like becoming present is like when I usually take, okay, Logan, okay, I understand what's happening right now. Now, this is the way that we can approach it. I would respond much better if you approach me this way.
Yeah.
And then, on the same note, and it's about my presence. Not my presence for them, my presence within me. Being aware of my emotions, being aware of like, this is frustrating me because I have this expectation. Oh, shit, it's on me. You know, being aware of that. That's the presence.
Yeah.
And the intention is what they're becoming. You know, so it's like this crossover of both.
Yeah. And I think it also goes back to one of the strengths that you have is like having to be adaptable. Like with the present stuff, it's like, okay, we have this mission statement, but how do we adapt it to work with what's happening right now, right here? Where it's like, okay, that's not exactly working right now. How do we make this work? Kind of thing. And I think some people might be so set in their ways that don't realize that there's, you know, endless possibilities of how to get something done, kind of thing. You just have to find it.
Quick story. Right now, the kids' room is a mess because we decided to change up their whole room. We bought new beds, everything. And my wife says to me, Rances, like I had responded to my son asking a question. She goes, Rances, you get real grumpy when we're building stuff. And I was like, number one is like that being able to take that criticism. And then the other part is like, let me see, what did I do? Shit, I sound like my dad. Holding the flashlight type of thing, that story. Yeah. Like, damn it. Okay. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Now adapt.
How?
Adapt based off intention versus like training, because the training has been, this is how you respond in these situations, you know? And then it's like, okay, I heard you. Now you can apply it in a different way. So yeah.
I like that. That's funny. That's good. All right. So that was another episode of Mindset. I believe that was episode 78.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys keep counting.
Yeah. I think it's 70. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll cut it out. But yeah, once again, thank you guys for watching Mindset. You don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and please visit VidaProject.com. There's a bunch of valuable shit you can learn from there. And you could also watch the podcast from there too, and listen to it from there.
There's a bunch of free resources on VidaProject.com that you guys could just download.
Utilize it. Trust me, it helps. And that's it. So, peace, guys.
Peace.